Hello Moto GP fans. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marco Bezzecchi delivered a cautious appraisal after a tight Friday at Le Mans, where he scraped into Q2 by thousandths and confirmed Aprilia's recent improvement, but warned the field is exceptionally close and that Marc Marquez remains a constant threat, especially if rain arrives. Bezzecchi's focus is on refining his time attack approach and extracting more from a bike that is improving but still demands precision. Marc Marquez was denied a final shot at direct Q2 access at Le Mans after late yellow flags halted his time attack, leaving the reigning champion to fight through qualifying one. The Spaniard remains upbeat about bike progress but admitted he's struggling to reproduce his usual time attack aggression, making Q1 a tricky hurdle on a weekend where 3 Ducatis topped the practice sheets. Bagnaia left Friday at Le Mans encouraged. The Jerez test gains carried over and he felt improved front-end confidence, even if a late crash interrupted his day. He described the session as a step forward, one that came with clearer tire control and the kind of pushing that, while costly in the short term, felt constructive rather than random. Danny Pedrosa's Friday analysis at Le Mans highlighted a tight, information-rich opening day. Ducati set the benchmark with clear race plans, Johann Zarco impressed in tricky conditions, and Marc Marquez's drop into Q1 reshuffles the weekend narrative. Pedrosa warned that mixed weather would favor strategic riders and those with wet weather feel, making Le Mans a weekend where small calls could have big consequences. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Bezzecchi described a tense qualifying day where tiny differences decided who progressed. He made Q2 by the slimmest of margins and emphasized how Le Mans compresses the grid. Once a corner is right, there is little room for interpretation and the gaps shrink to thousandths. The differences between everyone are really minimal. Tracks that reward a single, repeatable line produce extremely tight timing. Small setup or riding tweaks can therefore have outsized effects on grid position. While happier with his afternoon pace, Bezzecchi admitted he struggled in time attack runs and wants to refine how he interprets specific corners. The afternoon session restored confidence, but he sees clear areas, notably his approach to certain turns, where marginal gains are available. When a rider pinpoints corner interpretation as the limiter, targeted practice and setup adjustments often yield quick improvements in qualifying trim. Bezzecchi acknowledged that Aprilia has improved after a difficult spell, yet he stressed that Le Mans levels many machines. He named several manufacturers and riders as threats, underlining that the weekend could produce a very mixed order. When multiple factories converge on a setup window, the championship becomes a tactical battle of consistency and adaptability rather than raw pace alone. Bezzecchi singled out Marc Marquez as a rider he always expects to be fast, and noted Marquez's wet weather prowess as a potential game-changer if rain appears. That combination, a perennial frontrunner plus unpredictable conditions, makes Le Mans especially tricky to forecast. I always expect Marquez, because he's always fast. And if it rains tomorrow, as they say, we know how strong he is in the wet. Weather can amplify individual strengths. A rider with exceptional wet weather feel can leap up the order and upset pre-race predictions. The day underlined how little separates riders at the front, thousandths of a second, evolving grip as the track dries, and minute setup choices. Bezzecchi's plan is incremental. Tighten his time attack execution and keep improving the bike's behavior lap after lap. On circuits where grip and line are decisive, consistency across multiple laps often matters more than a single flying lap. Bezzecchi leaves Friday encouraged by Aprilia's gains but realistic about the challenge ahead. Le Mans' tiny margins and fickle weather mean any rider can emerge as a contender. Marquez remains a particular threat. If Bezzecchi sharpens his time attack interpretation and Aprilia sustains the bike's improvements, he should be well placed for a strong weekend. Otherwise, the close field will punish the smallest errors. Marquez looked set to challenge for a Q2 slot, but a late crash for teammate Bagnaia brought out yellow flags at a crucial moment. The interruption prevented Marquez from completing a clean flying lap and consigned him to 13th on the timesheets, meaning he must now contest Saturday's Q1 shootout. Unlucky we are in Q1, that is not the best. But let's see, we will keep working, try to do our best, find the maximum. Yellow flags are an unfortunate but decisive factor in qualifying. They can turn a planned attack into a scramble for recovery. Marquez suggested his single lap form is the area where he's currently losing out, while race pace looks more promising. He believes if he can regain his usual willingness to load the front tire, his time attack laps will return to their former level. You never know. The thing is, if you are fast, the yellows don't matter because you will do one good lap sooner or later. It looks like on the time attack I'm struggling a bit more than the race pace. When a rider shows stronger race rhythm than qualifying speed, teams often prioritize consistency and tire life to secure solid race results even if grid position suffers. Marquez joined other GP26 riders in debuting an in-season fairing update during the afternoon, but the practice order still saw 3 Ducatis in the top 4. While Marquez reported incremental improvement session to session, the Q1 result underlines how fine the margins are when multiple factory bikes converge on similar upgrades. Mid-season aero tweaks can produce immediate gains for some riders and require adaptation for others. The net effect often depends on track layout and tire behavior. Speaking to Sky Italia, Marquez pinpointed a reluctance to push the front tire as a current limiter. Restoring that confidence, the aggressive front-end loading that has been a hallmark of his style, is central to converting practice speed into a qualifying lap that can bypass Q1. I'm not pushing the front as usual. I'm not riding hard, pushing the front tire. Let's see if I can do that. Relearning to trust the front tire after setup changes or incidents is a common short-term challenge. When solved, it typically yields quick improvements in single lap pace. With rain still a strong possibility for Sunday, Marquez and Ducati must balance the immediate need to escape Q1 with the longer strategic picture. Q1 is notoriously unforgiving. The top 2 advance. Everyone else faces a tougher race day. So Marquez's focus will be on extracting a clean, decisive lap in Saturday's shootout. Marc Márquez's Le Mans weekend is now a short, high-stakes test. Convert practice gains into a Q1 top 2 and the championship fight remains within reach. Fail to do so and the weekend becomes a recovery mission. He's optimistic about the bike's direction and insists the team is working well. The immediate task is to translate that progress into a fearless time attack when it matters. Bagnaia reported a tangible improvement compared with earlier rounds, building on the Jerez test work and the new Ducati fairing. He was able to push and manage tires more effectively, which translated into competitive lap times and renewed optimism about the bike's direction. At the Jerez test I was feeling a bit better, and today I felt it, again, so I'm happy. When a rider can both push and control tires, it usually signals that setup changes are moving from theory into usable race pace. Unlike some earlier incidents this season, Bagnaia framed his fall as the result of pushing the limit rather than an inexplicable mistake. That distinction matters. Crashes born of clear intent often provide cleaner data for engineers and can be less damaging to rider confidence. Productive crashes can accelerate development because they reveal the bike's edge in a way that controlled laps sometimes do not. Despite better front-end feel, Bagnaia says the Desmas Setisi still lacks some turning ability and stopping precision. The team's immediate focus remains on making the bike stop better and turn more, a combination that would convert improved feeling into consistent lap times and race results. Braking and turn-in are often the quickest levers to recover time. Solving them typically yields immediate benefits across a race distance. With rain forecast for qualifying, Bagnaia highlighted the need to make a step in wet grip compared with Jerez. Mixed conditions could force Ducati to choose conservatively with parts and setups, or to gamble for a wet-specific advantage, a tactical wrinkle that may influence whether some Jerez aero is used at Le Mans. Teams that improve wet performance gain a double benefit. better results in rain and more robust baseline setups for variable conditions. Bagnaia's crash had a direct impact on Marc Marquez's qualifying attempts, bringing out yellow flags that curtailed a late-time attack. The incident underlines how tightly interwoven teammates' fortunes are when margins are small and how one session's events can ripple into the next. In tightly packed fields, a single late incident can reshape the grid and force teams to adapt strategy quickly. Bagnaia's Le Mans Friday was a net positive, measurable progress from Jerez, improved tire control and a crash that felt like useful limit testing rather than a setback. The key questions now are whether Ducati can translate those gains into better turning and braking stability, and how the team manages parts and setup choices with mixed weather looming. If the improvements hold, Bagnaia should be in a stronger position to fight for top results. If not, the weekend will expose whether the step forward was durable, or merely a promising flash. Pedrosa praised Ducati's approach to long runs and tire strategy, noting a consistent pattern among factory riders: hard front, soft rear. That combination produced reliable race data and underlined Ducati's intent to work with race distance rather than single-lap gambles. Ducati gathered a lot of information in this session, and it seems that this combination of hard front and soft rear tire is working well for them. When a factory converges on a clear race plan, it often converts into consistent race pace even if qualifying order fluctuates. Johann Zarco again looked at home at Le Mans, showing confidence both in the dry and in light rain. Pedrosa singled him out as a rider who gains from mixed conditions, where front-end confidence can trump outright power. Home circuit motivation plus a front-end setup that inspires confidence makes Zarco a genuine wildcard if the weather turns. Pedrosa analyzed Marc Marquez's Friday struggles and the late mistake that left him outside the top 10. While surprising, Pedrosa refused to write Marquez off, especially if mixed conditions arrive, because of his strategic nous and ability to lift his performance when the track is unpredictable. We know that Marc is a very good strategist, and that he also brings out his talent in mixed conditions. A Q1 route complicates race day but can also sharpen a rider's focus. Marquez's wet weather pedigree keeps him a threat. Pedrosa highlighted Fabio Di Giannantonio's sector-by-sector consistency as a key strength and contrasted it with riders who chase peak laps. He also noted Zarco's preference for a softer front to gain confidence, accepting that it may not last a full dry race. Consistent sector times often predict race resilience. Tire choices that prioritize confidence can pay off in variable conditions. With clouds and a strong chance of rain, Pedrosa sees Le Mans as a weekend where strategy, tire calls and mixed condition skill will matter more than raw pace. Ducati's clarity, Zarco's home form and Marquez's tactical strength set up a dynamic contest where small decisions will swing outcomes. In weather-sensitive rounds, adaptability and quick strategic reads typically beat one-off speed. Pedrosa's read makes Le Mans feel like a tactical chess match. Ducati look organized for race distance, Zarco is a local threat, and Marquez, despite a Q2 miss, remains dangerous if the sky opens. Expect the weekend to reward riders and teams who prioritize usable race setups and make the right tire calls when conditions shift. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your Moto GP news update. And see you next time!